Please welcome to the stage Ambassador Paula Dobriansky, Senior Fellow at Harvard University Belfer Center for Science and International Affairs, former Undersecretary of State for Global Affairs, and member of Concordia's Leadership Council, and Her Highness, Her Royal Highness, Princess Lamia Al Saud, Secretary General and member of the Board of Trustees for Alwaleeds Philanthropies.
Good afternoon, everyone. Your Royal Highness, Princess Lamia, we're very pleased that you're here at Concordia, and we're looking forward to a very robust exchange with you. Let's begin with talking about your foundation, the Alwaleeds Foundation. Tell us a bit about its goals, its objectives, and maybe a little bit about its history, its founding. And welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for having me. It's such a great honor to be here with you tonight. Well, our foundation is the philanthropic arm of His Royal Highness Prince Alwaleed bin Talal. He started it from 38 years ago. The same year he started the Kingdom Holding Company. Our foundation is working in over 160 countries around the world. We focus in 4 main focus areas, which is community development, goes under it, health, education, infrastructure, and nuclear energy. Also, we're a heavy supporter for women and youth empowerment. Of course, it's well known that His Royal Highness Prince Alwaleed was a very strong believer in the ability of women in Saudi Arabia long ago. Also, we do respond in disaster relief, and we provide vital disaster relief in time of crisis, whether it's man-made or a natural disaster. And we have a very unique area of focus, which is bridging gaps between culture and promote for cultural understanding, acceptance, and tolerance. And we do this via our 6 centers around the world, which is in Edinburgh University, Harvard University, Georgetown, American University of Egypt, of Cairo, and His Royal Highness as well is a very strong believer of the effect of art and heritage, and that's why we collaborated with the Louvre Museum, and we established the Art Islamic Center, and also we just finalized with our partner in Berlin Museum to establish and renovate the Art Islamic Center. So this is a small brief about what we're doing.
You also have a number of partnerships that you have forged, and we're here in New York, and it's United Nations General Assembly Week, and so I believe with UNICEF you have a partnership, and tell us a little bit about that. I know that you've also worked with the Gates Foundation, and also another area among a number of areas that, as you've described, you're in. You also have done work in the field of violence against women. Tell us a little bit about some of your partnerships that you have with other institutions or organizations.
So in regards of the UNICEF, His Royal Highness committed to eradicate measles and rubella around the world, and that was announced in 2016, and it was a great contribution from His Highness after contributing with the Gates in eradicating polio as well. Our portfolio from a perspective of vaccination, it's almost full, so we did eradication and vaccination in regards of the neglected disease, the tropical disease. We did a lot of work as well with the Gates from a perspective of the polio and vaccination, and also we are a partner with the Gates in the breakthrough energy, which is providing solution for nuclear energy around the world. We have a very exciting announcement with the UN Women. Hopefully, inshallah, it's tomorrow. It's going to be announced. I cannot say anything about it, but it's going to be announced tomorrow with the UN Women in an international level and also in a national level in Saudi Arabia. And it's going to be for the first time UN Women enter Saudi Arabia from a perspective of survey and data.
In fact, you're holding a special press conference on this topic.
Yes. I'm very glad. We're very pleased of all of the development and the reforming that supports human rights in Saudi Arabia. In regards of supporting women and our work locally and globally, actually we're very active on ground in Saudi Arabia from perspective of supporting women. So We have a lot of initiatives in regards of legal rights. We launched in 2014 an initiative called Rؤية, which is creating awareness about women legal rights. We create a lot, we supported and we provide a lot of legal assistance for women. We almost 500 female lawyers were graduated from this initiative. We just last week announced a very interesting initiative. We were, I'm honored to head the first philanthropic institute that respond to the lifting ban on driving, on women driving. So we had an initiative with Kareem, which is a leading hailing car app in Saudi Arabia and in our part of the world. And we trained almost 100 ladies. And almost 10 of them, they already took their cars and they're on the street now. And honestly, believe me, Ambassador, it was, for me personally, it was a great shock, because when I talked to those girls and I told them, you're not afraid, you just, it's almost less than a year, and you're not afraid to go out on the street and take random people, and they were very, very excited. Like, no, we're excited, and you know what, this is our life, we want to live it. So I'm very glad and I'm honored to be part of that. Thanks God.
Well, let me pick up on that. And in fact, thinking about the time of the announcement of the lifting of the ban in Saudi Arabia was really virtually to the date. I think it was June 24 of this year, and so it's the 3-month anniversary.
Yes.
Literally
it was yesterday. Yes.
So let me ask you a very direct question, because many of us followed with great interest about these developments. And I think on one hand, we were very euphoric about the changes that, had taken place and the opportunity afforded women to make that choice. But at the same time, I think we would want to know, what was this issue with the arrest of the activists who, it was indicated, were for some time pushing this issue. And what can you say to that? I mean, the women who, I think there were 11, maybe even some more, who were arrested. What's the reason for that?
Well, I'm honestly, I cannot talk on behalf of the Saudi government. I'm here to present the AP, but at the end of the day, what I know that our country is going through a great reform under, of course, His Majesty King Salman and His Royal Highness the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Well, actually, yesterday I was in the 2030 event, and the head of the World Bank said something very interesting. He was urging youth to force them to do whatever best for youth, but it's the voice of youth. And we're very lucky, and we're very, I'm very pleased that our government is turning into a youth government, that it reflects what the next generation wants. So definitely we have a lot of culture and we have a lot of aspects in this regard, but we didn't start from the same starting point as other. So we have a lot in our community that, guide us along the way. I know we're a very small country, a young country, we're 88 years old, but at the end of the day, I'm very proud of what we reached, and we still have a long way to go.
Well, also on the driving issue, tell us a little bit more about the opportunities, because also I understand that one has to pay for the opportunity. How do you equalize that? How do you give women? Is that something that your foundation may be involved in or is involved in, and working with Kareem, as you mentioned?
Exactly, that's what we're doing. We're providing training, we're finalizing all the, the logistics, the documentation, everything for them to be ready to be on the street with it's their license, their, the driving training and everything. So, and it's not that big of amount, to be very honest, to have your license. And the most important thing that it's not about, this is a very important thing to say, it's not about the lifting ban of the driving, it's about giving women the choice. So you have the choice whether to drive your car, you have the choice to have your driver drive your car. It's you as independent person. You have the choice in the morning, whatever you want to do. You want to take a taxi, you want to go with your car. It's that feeling which is incredible feeling to feel. I know for all of you, for almost like a lot of the ladies in the room, it's something normal for you every day. But for us, it was such a breakthrough, and it was something make us feel a complete different people 3 months ago.
Also, I understand one of your favorite programs is the Hero to Hero campaign.
Yes.
And by the way the initiative has been described is kind of, all right, for a female to essentially say, okay, I'm going to take the jump, the leap forward, and in, you know, some particular area.
Yeah.
And again, it has to do with choice. Maybe tell us a bit about that campaign, why it's your favorite, and maybe give an example of where there's been another leap forward.
What we try to do with the Hero Next to Hero campaign is, you know what, we don't have to be fighting with men. I think we're together in this globe and this world, and there is a lot of great men, such as my brother, such as His Royal Highness Prince Alwaleed. They supported women because they believe in us. So I cannot segment all men that they're the enemy, they're trying to break us, and all, you know, the narrative that we all heard about. I think men did a great job in supporting women in various areas. For example, His Royal Highness Prince Alwaleed, he trusted, by the way, where the foundation is run by 10 Saudi capable ladies that's working in over 160 countries around the world. We're working, our project, it's almost a 70 project. We're dealing with over 85 partners around the world. So he trusted us, 10 ladies, and also, of course, I don't know if you know about that, he actually did a giving pledge with a $32 billion, and it is going back to the foundation in doing good. So this is something that I have to recognize, and I have to say, you know what, there is a lot of good men in this world, and there is a lot of bad women as well. So the Hero Next to Hero campaign, it was really, we wanted to say thank you for whoever supported us, if it's man or woman. And we want the new generation not to have this attitude toward men that they are enemies. They're not. They're trying to help, but sometimes the culture, the understanding, the heritage, the religion have a very strong aspect on how you create a relation with a woman or a female.
There are a number of reforms underway in Saudi Arabia. And again, I'm sure in this audience and beyond, many of us are reading it with very rapt attention and following and what may be next. If you had a wish, what would you wish for, you know, maybe a next movement forward? Is there something that you can say or share with us? Or maybe that the foundation itself is doing and trying to advance?
Well, actually, you know what, I believe that we still have a very long way to go. Very long way to go. Of course, in the mind of everyone sitting here, it's the guardianship. And I need to clarify something about guardianship. Now, it's a very strong signal from the government that you are free to go and get out your license without the approval of your guardian. That's a very strong signal from our government that it's only the first step, and next step will be a much stronger step in favor of women. My wish for the upcoming generation is to understand what we've been through as past generation, and believe me, as I told you before, I'm not the perfect example because I had a very supporting family and they understand. I was graduated not from Saudi Arabia, from outside. I had the privilege to learn and communicate with people and understand more about this world than the border of Saudi Arabia. But you know what, there's a lot of people been there and suffered, and there's a lot of drama, there's a lot of miseries there. And the next generation who's coming, whether it's men or boys or girls, they need to know the amount of responsibility and the amount of dedication they have to give back to this country, because we've been through a lot yet. We're a very young country, but we're over the 70% youth. So we're a very young country from perspective of age and even population. And they are the future, so we're depending on them on a lot of things. So I wish and I call them to be up to the challenge, because it's not an easy one. And I think the world is looking into Saudi Arabia, in specific women, and I think we have a great caliber. They should be out there to speak about themselves.
I know that you're here in New York because of also the special announcement tomorrow, but you're also here at Concordia. And I will say this very proudly, being part of the Leadership Council of Concordia and being affiliated with Concordia. Concordia is very much known as advancing public-private partnerships, trying to pair up different organizations and thinking of different ways that one can work together and go forward. And, you know, sitting here and thinking about our audience and where people are from, and they're from not just here in the United States, but from across the globe. You know, what would be your message to them, and thinking about what you are trying to achieve and how maybe they can also be part of that effort, potentially?
I would ask you to do one thing. Stop judging the Saudi Arabian community and the Arab community, because there is a lot of aspects that we've been through and we've been raised on. And if you would like to know more about us, now it's open, the touristic visa, it's open, and you're more than welcome to come to our country and to understand more about our people, more about our culture. Yes, we've been marked before as a lot of names, and I don't think this is fair. And I believe it was our mistake in specific as Saudi women, because we weren't open for media. We were really horrified of media because we've been framed in a way or another that we're not doing anything, we're strained, and you know what, in a way or another before, we had a lot of aspects that make us free in a way. So I'll just give a small example from a perspective of wages and salaries and the differentiation between men and women by law in Saudi Arabia long ago. If me and a gentleman going to the same job, and I proved that that gentleman is receiving by 1 riyal more salary than me, I can sue ministries. So I know that from a gender equality, there's a lot of work that needs to do in Saudi Arabia, but also we had a lot of privileges. And putting in mind the Saudi community, the tradition, the tribal aspect of the story, you would see that we did a great job from a perspective of women and men. The understanding, the changing the mindset, accepting others, we are used to do that. We're not that close of a community. We would welcome you and welcome other people. I think a lot of companies, a lot of entities entered Saudi Arabia lately, and believe it or not, they were shocked. And they said, no, this is not what we heard about. 2 years ago or 1 year ago, in the beginning of up to 2017, we did the first conference in regards of the revolving role of Saudi women, and all our partners, I'm talking about over 50 partners around the world, from Europe, States, Far East, North Africa. They came and they were, you know what, we're sorry that was the concept about the Saudi people, and that was the concept about this country. We have a beautiful country. I would love every one of you to come to our country and just see it and build your own judgment. Put aside the media, with all my respect.
Well, Your Royal Highness, first of all, thank you for coming today. And we're looking forward to hearing about the announcement tomorrow.
Yes.
With the United Nations.
Yes.
And also, thank you for your candidness. You've emphasized the importance of generation and change, and we are watching very closely and want to be engaged in that process and of change, and welcome it. So thank you for coming today, and please join me in thanking Your Royal Highness.
Thank you.